there, folks, and a warm festive welcome back to What's for Tea, and it's lovely to see you all again. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on whereabouts you are. So thanks for coming over, like I said, just to see what I've made for the family dinners again this week, starting all the way back on Monday through till today, which is Sunday. And if you've not got yourself involved in that giveaway yet, go and have a wee look at the video and get yourself entered, because it is international. So on Monday we had a big Yorkshire pudding. Now I do have a video recipe for these massive Yorkshire puddings. You can go and have a wee look and then go on to make these yourself if you want. They're just such a great idea, and you can fill them with all sorts of things, you know, a roast dinner, anything looks good in these big things. So that's the giant Yorkshire pudding there, and it's just my standard Yorkshire pudding made in a bit of a bigger tin. I've got some baby new potatoes with parsley butter on the side, and then I've got some green beans again and butter on the side, and these are some pork sausage links from the local butcher. And for a wee change I made some onion gravy as well, and it just all goes so well together. And like I said, you can put anything you like in here. I think it goes really well with like roast beef, roast chicken, a few Yorkshire puddings, or even some mashed potato. Yeah, fabulous idea. And then moving on to Tuesday, I had a packed lunch. Now, usually on a Tuesday, we meet up with a bunch of other folk, and they usually order things from the local chip shop. And I'm trying to be good at the moment, so I haven't been getting anything from the chip shop for a wee while now. But I did take my own sort of sandwich type thing. So these are the Warburton's soft pitas. So I took two of these, and I just filled these up with some low-fat mayonnaise, and there's tuna and sweet corn in there as well. And these are so lovely. They're really, really soft and actually quite filling. I find these more filling than standard pita bread. So that's what I had. And I also had some sparkling water as well. I used to order chips, you know, when I wasn't being as good as I'm being just now. I did used to order chips. I'd have a roll in chips or a bag of chips. Mr. What's for Tea, he had a roll in chips, but again, he hasn't really been getting anything from the chip shop for a wee while either, but he decided to have a roll in chips just for a wee change. And the smell in that room was absolutely insane, but I thoroughly enjoyed this as well. And I was going to have some crisps as well. I had some crisps in the car, but once I had this, I decided that was more than enough. But I'll be looking forward to chips when we get into the new year, and once I get to where I should be weight wise. And then moving on to Wednesday, we had fish cakes. You'll have seen these wee fish cakes in my shopping and bagging last week. These were lovely as well, and again, just such a simple idea. I do my own fish cakes from time to time, but when you're in a hurry, or if you don't have a great deal of time, these wee ready-made fish cakes are just a godsend. So that's the cod fish cakes at the side. And we also had some tender stem broccoli, or long broccoli, depending on what you like to call it. We had some beetroot in the corner, which I think goes great with any sort of fishy thing. And then we had some potato gratin as well, which I absolutely love. I don't really know the difference between potato gratin and potato dauphinoise. To me, they're just the same, but apparently they are different things. So yeah, delicious plateful anyway. And then moving on to Thursday, I made a chicken curry. So I done this one in the slow cooker. I put it on in the morning. I just left it on low all day, and it was just ready to serve in the afternoon. So this is a sort of Indian style chicken curry. I do two. I do a Chinese one and I do a more Indian one. Obviously, the only thing that varies are the spices that you use to give them a completely different flavour profile. So that's the Tilda rice. In the corner, this is the peel out rice, and then that's that gorgeous chicken curry. It was quite spicy. I might have made it a wee bit too hot. It's never too hot for me, but Mr. What's for Tea in particular is not a fan of overly spicy things, but to me, the hotter the better. So to me, it wasn't too warm, but apparently it was a bit on the spicy side. And then we had a wee bit of naan bread on the side as well. And then moving on to Friday, we had tagliatelle Bolognese, which is again one of our favourites. We love a bolognese. Sometimes I use the corn mince, and sometimes I use actual beef mince. This time I used actual beef mince because I had some beef in the freezer, and now I am managing to get through everything that I've got in the freezer. I don't have too much now that I need to use up. I like to have everything used up before Christmas and New Year and just start afresh, just clean the whole thing out and start again. So that's the tagliatelle bolognese there. This is fresh egg tagliatelle, so it's lovely and soft and quite wide, this one, a wee bit wider than normal. It was more like ribbons and it was absolutely delicious. We had some garlic bread on the side and then just a wee bit of sharp cheddar or vintage cheddar on the top, just for a wee change from my usual parmesan. This is much punchier. And then moving on to yesterday, another chicken dish. We had paprika chicken, so I haven't had this for such a while, as well. So I made some steamed basmati rice. I use the absorption method when I'm making my own rice. You just weigh out your rice, you put in 1.5 times the amount of water for rice that you're using. Make sure you wash it thoroughly before you begin. Let it cook for 5 minutes with the lid on, and then just turn the heat off and let it sit for another 5 minutes in the pan, and the rice turns out perfectly. Let me know if you want a wee mini video on how I do my own homemade rice. And I put some sweet corn through the rice. That's the chicken paprika on the top with a wee smattering of chili flakes for me, of course. And then moving on to today, we had steak pie. We've been loving steak pie recently. So this is just basically a beef stew with puff pastry on the top. Not as good as the butcher steak pies, but I do make quite a nice steak pie, I have to say. And I do have a video recipe for the steak pie as well. If you want to go and watch it, I'll leave it linked underneath this video and it'll take you straight to it if you want to go and give it a go. So we had some potato croquettes, and I've also got a recipe for those as well. I done a video on these a couple of weeks ago, which I'll also leave linked down below. We had some steamed carrots with a wee bit of butter. That's the stew and gravy, or the beef stew and gravy there, with the puff pastry on the top. And this is just a big favourite in the house. I don't know if it's just a Scottish or a British thing, but we all seem to love our steak pies. They're just wonderful. So that's everything that we had this week. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you're still here at this point, and a huge thank you as usual to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and to the channel members here as well. And I have got round to updating those lists, so your name should be there for all the new Patreons and channel members. And I will catch up with you during the week for another wee recipe back on Saturday for our food shopping and bagging, or even back this time next week for another week of delicious family meals. But whenever you choose to join me again, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you off as soon back here on What's for Tea. Take care. Bye for now. Bye now.